the most impactful moves of the offseason are done, I want to look back and talk about some moves, but mostly I want to talk about what the Ravens think of the moves. And when I say that, what are the Ravens trying to communicate to the fans, to us, and to everyone who pays attention, what they think about their team? The first lesson that is obvious that the Ravens are trying to communicate to us is that they have learned from other teams in the NFL, like the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Bengals. They've learned that in order to win in this league, it's important to have a great defense, but it's more important to have a great dynamic offense. And that is what we're trying to do this offseason. With the signing of Odell Beckham Jr., with drafting a receiver with the first pick in the NFL draft, with making sure we do things to keep the running backs happy and together, we're seeing that the Ravens are going into a place that's going to be dynamic in all facets of an offense. Now, some will be more dynamic than others. Every team has that. However, we've learned in the past, we try to make a dynamic defense, run the ball defense. Even though that works in the off season, when you have to play the best teams, for example, a Josh Allen and the Bills, a Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, when you play those very best teams, it's not enough to have a good defense, because it doesn't matter what you do, you will not be able to beat the Chiefs with just a good defense. Let's look at some of the teams in the Super Bowl last year. The Eagles had one of the best offenses in the league. Of course, the Chiefs are the Chiefs. When it comes to the only time the Chiefs lost in the Super Bowl, you have to remember that other team had Tom Brady, Mike Evans, a lot of great dynamic receivers on that team, Antonio Brown, and we need to match that, and that's what the Ravens are trying to do. It's important that we match that with offense and not by trying to be better than them on special teams and defense. I honestly think that is something of yesteryear. Of course, every now and then a dynamic defense will pop up and be able to have a great game and a great game plan, but on a night in, night out basis, when you have to win 4 playoff games, a dynamic offense is the way to go. And I think the Ravens have shown us that, and we have definitely learned from that with the things we've done, including keeping Lamar. Now that we've talked about the offense, let's shift and talk about the defense. And the lesson that the Ravens have obviously communicated to us as fans is that Roquan Smith is the guy that's going to make everyone better. They believe that Roquan Smith is Lamar Jackson of the defense. I am of a different opinion. Honestly, I think that other players like Patrick Queen also played much better at the end of the season, which helped lift Roquan as much as he was helping lift others. However, based on several things that the Ravens have done, they have told us that Roquan is the guy that they're going to put their money on, their time on, their belief in. And I'm just going to point out a couple of them to you. First things first is the Ravens still haven't replaced Calais Campbell. What they're basically saying is that, one, the defensive line we have are good enough. Calais Campbell was still one of the best run stoppers last season. Had a high PFF grade. However, he's not the same pass rusher. However, they said, we think Roquan is good enough with the team here to do what he did last season and he's done all his career and be a force in the run game. Also, we're not going to extend the 5-year option to Patrick Queen, because we think that Roquan Smith is what made Patrick Queen perform so well toward the end of last season. In addition to that, we're going to draft Patrick Queen's replacement by drafting a linebacker who is sideline to sideline just like Patrick Queen. The Ravens don't think that Patrick Queen is who he is without Roquan Smith. In addition, the Ravens have decided we're going to go with some of our young guys throughout the defense in many ways. It's very, very believable that our slot cornerback will be one of the cornerbacks we drafted last season. Probably Pepe, but again, we don't know yet. In addition to that, it's very, very obvious that we believe that our team is good enough on defense to limit poor offenses for sure, but also compete with high offenses and not let them get too many points while letting the offense run up the score. And the main cog of that, the Ravens believe, is Roquan Smith. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Roquan make lots of plays, because the Ravens are going to put him in position to make lots of plays. They truly believe that he is the guy that's going to be on defense and pay the bills for the defense. I'm interested to see how that works out, but we've shifted our defensive scheme from trying to have impact players at every position to kind of being a homegrown system surrounded by 2 superstars. That being Roquan Smith and Marlon Humphrey. Now that we talked about the offense and the defense, the last thing I want to talk about is the obvious belief in John Harbaugh. The Ravens are telling us this season that John Harbaugh is the best coach in the NFL, or at the very least, they believe that. Why do I say that? Let's think about all the teams over the past 10 years that have gotten their offensive and defensive coordinators from college. And yes, I understand that our offensive coordinator has some experience in the NFL. However, very, very little teams go and take a defensive coordinator who was in college and make him the defensive coordinator of their team, and then the very next season go and take a offensive coordinator in college and make them the offensive coordinator of their team. And when you look at the track record of these coordinators, they're not great track records. Again, we know Mike Macdonald was nothing before he was the defensive coordinator of the Michigan Wolverines. He literally was a position coach for the Ravens, and then he came and went to the college ranks, had a good season, but also was very familiar with the coach there and the scheme, because it's a very similar scheme to what the Ravens ran. It's just a college version, as you would expect, going from John Harbaugh to Jim Harbaugh. It's just what you would expect. Then you do the same thing with Todd Monken. Even though the offenses are vastly different, Greg Roman, who was the previous coordinator, had the most college-like offense other than the Eagles. The Eagles have a very similar offense. They have the most college-like offense in the entire NFL. Then you go get an offensive coordinator from college who, in his time in NFL, he was offensive coordinator for the Browns and was fired. And again, there haven't been a lot of successful offensive coordinators for the Browns. But what the Ravens are saying is that we don't need added veteran experience or veteran success in our coaching ranks. Why don't we need that? The same reason that Bill Belichick uses the same guys. He doesn't feel like he needs to go get a veteran who's been in the game for a long time. The same reason that Andy Reid seems to be able to pump out offensive minds year after year after year, because they think they have the right coach. They think they have a coach whose schemes and mainly whose philosophies are so strong that they're able to take anyone who comes in and make them great. And that's what the Ravens are betting on John Harbaugh. The Ravens go with John Harbaugh. Ravens step with John Harbaugh. And it's obvious to us that John Harbaugh has the buy-in from the coach. And even if a bad season were to arise, I don't believe anything would happen to John. If you're one of these fans who don't like John Harbaugh, which there are some, and I have argued with you guys in the past, I don't think he's going anywhere, even if we have 2 bad seasons in a row. I think, again, they're 100% bought in on John. Again, the only concern you will ever have is that Eric DeCosta will make that change. But I think it's obvious to Eric DeCosta that when it comes to growing players of certain positions, the Ravens always get players taken away. Anytime Ravens have a player who's pretty good, other teams bid on them. It's because they see that the Ravens take players and make them better after they leave their organization. They see that many people, many players call the Ravens the best organization in the league from a player standpoint. It's because people come and play, they be themselves, and if you're a hard time, if you're rough, they'll just let you go. They're not worried about anything else. Of course, they'll do the legal things to get money back, but they're not going to run you through the mud. That's not what we do in Baltimore. So that's painfully obvious to me that the Ravens are communicating to fans that, look, John Harbaugh is the guy that makes this thing run. We don't need a successful offensive coordinators. We don't need to go get another Greg Roman. We don't need to go get another Wink Martindale, right? Early in the career, the Ravens said, no, we need Greg Roman because he's done this at the highest level successfully. They no longer believe that, and it's obvious in the moves that they're making with the coordinators. So those are 3 things I think the Ravens are communicating to us. You guys let me know in the comments below what you think the Ravens are communicating. Again, guys, we're going to continue to grow here. So please like and subscribe. It helps us. The more subscribers, the better chance we have of having people watch videos, and it helps us with the algorithm. So you guys, thank you so much. And please, please, please subscribe. Talk to you guys next time.